Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I decided to build a mansion desert valley. This is on a 50 by 40 lot. And as you can see here, I started off by working on the basement. This build is all about the walkout basement. And I simply built a basement using the basement tool and then selected the ceiling by clicking on the yellow outline and I deleted the ceiling. And this way you can create a build like this. You have an open basement and you can do all kinds of different things. Of course, you also want to make sure to build a basement behind the wall. Like you can see that I'm placing some windows over here, but eventually I will have to build a basement behind these walls, so it's a proper functional room, of course. But here I was just focusing on the details and the general design at first, so I'm going to take care of the basement later. And spoiler, there will be a spa area down there. I figured this would be so cool for a mansion like this one. I then started to work on the build itself. I put a focus on the whole outside area. The garden is huge. The mansion is spacious. I mean, it's a mansion, and you know that I always downplay the size of my mansions, but this one generally isn't like too big because I've used a lot of space for the garden, as you can already tell, and I wanted to have a beautiful pool in the center. I've used a couple of debug objects, like this planter is from debug from the base game, and so are these palm trees and also these bushes. I wanted this to be really colorful, and this flower bed is also part of debug and part of the base game actually, so you don't need any packs for this object. And then I just started to decorate a bit more. I wanted to have some vines. These are from Cottage Living. I think they're just perfect. Before Cottage Living came out, I've always used the ones from Get Famous in debug because they look super realistic, and the ones from Get Together, for example, don't look realistic at all. They look like, I don't know, they look cartoonish in a way. But then Cottage Living came out, and these just look as great as the ones from Get Famous, and you don't even have to access debug for them, so this is perfect. It was then time for roofing, which is always fun, and I just laid out the shape a bit, and this was so much fun. I love working on gardens. I love houses which look kind of Mediterranean, and at first I used this roof swatch, and as you will see, I'm going to change the color. You already saw this in the very beginning probably. This here looks too orangey, not really beautiful, and as soon as I changed the roof swatch, the whole build just looked great and I was really happy. You can also see that I'm using some dark windows and this arch. The windows are from Snowy Escape and the arch is from the base game, I think. And at this point I started to kind of see a certain style there, so I wanted to go into that direction, and I decided to use lots of these windows and to have this contrast between the really modern dark window and this Mediterranean vibe. So it's like kind of a unique style, I guess. And I then just placed more windows. So these windows that I've just placed are not placed on a wall. I just stacked them on top of each other. They are just like some type of room divider, but on the outside, they're just supposed to just make the patio look a bit fancy, I guess. And then I built a couple of round flower beds. I've used surround foundation pieces for this. I then just changed the color so it looks like lawn. I applied a fence from the base game so it looks nice. And then I just started to decorate. At first, I wanted to have a fence behind this area, but as you can see, there are two holes inside there because it's kind of clashing with the whole round foundation thing. So eventually I'm just going to use a fence from debug, which is also from the base game, I think. So I just wanted to go more into this Mediterranean direction, and a fence like this is perfect because you just place it. You have no issues, no holes in there. And then I used this object here to create a round shape. So I have a beautiful flower bed on top, and I just wanted to make the walkout basement area look a bit more fancy. I've placed this by holding Alt and the left mouse button, so just the regular way of rotating objects, no tool or anything. I've just used tool in some areas to just lower an object a tiny bit into the ground or something just for the details, but this build is like not about tool. I have barely used it for this build, to be honest. I've then added this beautiful area to just sit and to hang out down there. And this is the round segment from the sofa from Dream Home Decorator, and usually it's probably supposed to be used as a corner piece or something, but here I've decided to use it as a standalone object, and it kind of looks so cool, so I did the same thing on the inside, as you will see. It just looks weird but also super fancy and fun, and I've then incorporated a couple of platforms in this object, which looks like a rug is from Get Together, and I just started to decorate a bit more. And this is the lighting strap from Spa Day. I really like this. When I'm combining different floor textures, this just looks really polished and good. And I'm just decorating and decorating. I also want to quickly talk about the situation regarding the My Wedding Stories pack. I've already released a statement on Twitter yesterday because I wanted to share my thoughts and wanted to show my support. Also, before I start to explain what's been going on, I just want to say that I know that the gurus are not at fault here. They are amazing people creating an amazing game, and this is not about bashing anyone. I don't want anyone to direct hate at anyone. The gurus are amazing, and I think it's generally really important to just voice your opinion, but to be just respectful about it. And for anyone out of the loop, here's what's going on. The My Wedding Stories pack is not going to be released in Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Ukraine. And the reason for that is, according to the Sims team, who released a statement that according to Russian laws, they won't be able to release the pack in Russia without making changes to the pack. And they said that they will take a stand and they won't change the pack because this would be straight washing essentially. And my initial reaction was that this is great, and a lot of people reacted the same way, but the situation is much more complex. A lot of Russian simmers have voiced their opinions on Twitter, on social media in general. A Russian lawyer shared what's going on, so there's been going on a lot on Twitter. So the thing is that The Sims 4 is already 18 plus in Russia, so you can release content which includes gay couples as long as it's 18 plus, and the base game was already rated 18 plus in Russia. We already had a gay couple in Cats and Dogs, and there is no reason, right, the upcoming pack shouldn't be released in Russia as 18 plus. The Sims is already 18 plus, so there's no law which would really prohibit this. Also, as many Simmers have pointed out on Twitter, there are LGBTQ couples on Netflix, in movies in Russia, so it's not illegal, it's not prohibited, it just has to be labeled as 18 plus, which again is the case for The Sims 4. Of course, it's heartbreaking that a law like this even exists. It's heartbreaking, it's sad, which is a different topic, but the fact stands that technically there shouldn't be anything different from this type of content, from content being released prior, and also just compared to movies and stuff in Russia, like, it shouldn't be an issue according to lots of Russians. So a lot of people are confused. The Russian community said that they want a statement, that they want the pack, and I agree, we need a statement, or they need a statement, because even if it's like much more difficult, if there are political reasons or anything, I think it's still good to clarify what's really going on. And I think that it's important to just figure out what's really been happening. Also, another question is, why will the pack be banned in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus? Because these laws generally don't apply to these countries at all. They don't have such laws. And I understand that there are like geo regions for games and stuff, and then when it's like blocked in one region, it's blocked for everyone. But there has to be a way, even if this would be like the case, to just block one country if you have to. So also, why are these countries excluded and no one's saying anything about this? And yeah, lots of questions. The situation is a bit messy. I have more questions than answers right now, and I just said yesterday that I want to voice my support, and I think we need answers. This is not about me, but I feel like I want to be supportive, and I definitely think that it would be great if everyone could enjoy the pack. Also, the Russian LGBTQ community have said that they just want the pack to just have representation, to be themselves. In a country like Russia, the situation is already difficult as it is when you are part of the LGBTQ community. And in The Sims, you can be yourself always. You can always play out any storyline. You can truly be yourself. It's an outlet. It's a safe place. And they don't want this to be taken away from them. And in my opinion, you sometimes just have to listen. And I'm not Russian. I'm not part of the LGBTQ community. I'm an ally. But it's not about me. And we can't just view this through a Western lens, kind of. We have to listen, and we have to take seriously what the Russian and the LGBTQ community from Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus wants. So I voiced my support, and the situation is really messy. I hope that everything can be sorted out. And even if there is a solid reason why it's impossible right now, I think it should be clarified. And we will see what's going to happen. And I just want to talk about this because I've been thinking about this so much during the last couple of days, and it kind of makes me sad. Like, everyone was super hyped for the pack, and then the whole situation is kind of overshadowed everything. I've also seen that some game changes won't be doing early access content unless the situation is resolved, so it's like really difficult. We will see what's going to happen. But back to the build, I just had to talk about this. It's just too important, and I just had to get it out there. So yeah, back to the build. Here I'm working on furnishing one of the bedrooms. The whole interior is like super modern and super fancy, and I really love how it turned out. I've included lots of glass windows here and there, as you saw, and here I'm working on furnishing the spa. I just wanted to have a really fancy spa. I used a platform in the back, as you can see. I raised it. I've used a waterfall. I've used the bamboo just to decorate it. I've used objects from the spa day pack, so it's like really a proper spa day room, kind of, not only a spa but a spa day room. And I'm going to lower some of these objects into the ground using tool, because at this point they're just sticking out at the top. So this huge column, for example, as you can see here, or the waterfall. And I wanted to have gym equipment, yoga mats, and then just some of the massage objects from spa day and different things, a sauna. I'm also going to build a bathroom in a second. This spot here was just perfect to add another room, and this is just really fancy. And yeah, this mansion has everything your Sims need. And this video is slowly coming to an end, actually. You can here see lots of screenshots. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this build. The build is available in the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. You can also get the trade files on my Patreon. And speaking of which, it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Dawn Bryce, Rishka MD, Sarah Diaz, Saturated Spark, Shannon McClam, Talena Lynn, 2Kates Tailoring, and Victoria Smithies. Thank you so much for your huge support. A big thank you to all my other Patreons. Thank you to anyone who watches my videos and supports me. I love you all so much. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and this build, and I hope you are doing well. I hope you will have a perfect week, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.